Have you ever wondered who Pythagoras was beyond his famed theorem? Today, we dive into the enigma that is Pythagoras, a man whose influence stretches beyond the realm of mathematics and into the heart of philosophy. Born in the year 570 BC on the island of Samos in Greece, Pythagoras is a name etched deep into the annals of history. Yet, his fame was not confined to his homeland. Fleeing political turmoil, he migrated to Croton, a city in southern Italy, where his influence began to truly take root. In Croton, Pythagoras established a school known as the Italian school that would become the bedrock of his philosophical teachings. This was no ordinary school, however. Around Pythagoras, a group of individuals gathered who referred to themselves as Pythagoreans. What set Pythagoras apart from other philosophers of his time was the establishment of this group, a collective of people living and acting according to specific codes. The Pythagoreans lived by strict principles and rules. They abstained from eating meat and legumes, a practice quite unusual for their time. They believed in reincarnation, a concept that infused their lives with a profound sense of continuity. They viewed the soul not as a material entity, but as the harmony of the body. According to historical sources, it was Pythagoras who coined the term philosophy, which translates to the love of wisdom. In his view, a man could not be wise, but could only love wisdom and aspire to be a philosopher. So, Pythagoras was more than a mathematician. He was a philosopher and the founder of a unique school of thought. His influence extended beyond the confines of his school in Croton, shaping the field of philosophy in ways that still resonate today. As we delve deeper into the life and teachings of Pythagoras, we begin to unravel the enigma of this ancient philosopher, revealing a man whose wisdom still echoes through the ages. Did you know that Pythagoras is credited with coining the term philosophy? This ancient Greek philosopher, mathematician, and mystic held a profound belief. Humans, he thought, could not claim to possess wisdom. Instead, we can only love wisdom, aspire to comprehend it, and thus strive to be philosophers. This love for wisdom, this thirst for understanding, was central to Pythagoras and his followers, who were known as the Pythagoreans. They gathered around their charismatic leader, forming a community that lived by specific codes and principles, such as abstaining from meat, believing in the transmigration of souls, and viewing the soul as a harmony of the body. One of the most intriguing aspects of Pythagorean thought is their central claim that all things are numbers. But what does this mean? In the Pythagorean view, a number is a collection of units. This excludes 0 and 1 as they don't meet this definition, and certainly not fractions. In this way, the Greeks expressed numbers as collections of points in various structures. So why focus on numbers? One of Pythagoras' key discoveries was the relationship between the length of a string on a musical instrument and the pitch of the note it produces. This revelation showed the Pythagoreans that numbers could impose order, that there was a connection between numerical order and sensory phenomena. According to them, mathematical properties, arithmetic and geometric, fundamentally characterized things and determined their nature. The Pythagoreans introduced two new concepts: cosmos, a well-ordered universe, and harmony, a beautiful and perfect arrangement. They claimed that numerical and geometric properties encapsulate everything into a well-ordered and organized world. The geometric structure gives the world a rational character, thus enabling us to recognize and understand it. In Pythagoras' world, numbers held the key to understanding the universe. Why did Pythagoras and his followers believe so strongly in the power of numbers? Well, let's delve into the depths of their philosophy to unravel the answer. One of the most significant discoveries attributed to Pythagoras is the relationship between the length of a string on a musical instrument and the pitch of the note it produces. If you've ever strummed a guitar, you've seen this principle in action. Shorter strings produce higher pitches, while longer strings create lower tones. This realization was profound for the Pythagoreans. It implied that numbers could impose order, that there was a connection between numerical order and sensory phenomena. This discovery led the Pythagoreans to a bold conclusion. They believed that mathematical properties, both arithmetic and geometric, fundamentally characterize things and determine their nature. Numbers were no longer just tools for counting or measuring. They were the very essence of reality, the building blocks of existence itself. The Pythagoreans introduced two new concepts to encapsulate their beliefs: cosmos, which signifies an orderly universe, and harmony, which denotes a fitting arrangement imbued with beauty and completeness. According to them, numerical and geometric properties ensnare all things into an organized and orderly world. Geometric structure lends the world a rational character, granting us the ability to recognize and understand it. However, the concept of a number wasn't the foundational notion in their belief system. There were two principles that preceded it: the limited and the unlimited. Odd numbers and even numbers immediately fell under these principles, with odd numbers being limited and even numbers being unlimited. This assertion was tied to the representation of numbers in terms of units or points. In such a representation, an odd number has a unit at the center, creating a boundary that forms symmetry. In contrast, an even number lacks such a boundary. For the Pythagoreans, numbers and geometry held the secret to a well-ordered and harmonious universe. Their fascination with numbers wasn't just an intellectual exercise. It was a pursuit of understanding the fundamental nature of reality. And through their eyes, that reality was numerical. But the Pythagorean philosophy wasn't just about numbers. It delved deeper into the fabric of existence, contemplating concepts that transcended the numerical realm. A key foundation of Pythagorean thought was the dichotomy between the limited and the unlimited. Let's break this down a bit. The limited, in Pythagorean terms, was associated with the odd numbers, while the unlimited was linked to the even numbers. This might seem counterintuitive at first, but let's think about it. An odd number has a definitive middle, a point of symmetry, a boundary that separates and defines. It is, in a sense, limited. An even number, on the other hand, lacks this definitive middle, making it unlimited in its symmetry. But what does this have to do with the world beyond numbers? Well, according to the Pythagoreans, everything in the world is the result of a combination of the limited and the unlimited. In other words, the balance and interplay between these two principles give rise to the organized cosmos that we inhabit. This isn't just a philosophical or metaphysical concept. It's a guiding principle that can be seen in the natural world, in the harmonious unfolding of life, and even in the structure of music and art. For instance, consider a piece of music. The rhythm, the pattern of beats, represents the limited, the defined, the orderly. But the melody, with its variations and progressions, represents the unlimited, the potential for change and variation. In the Pythagorean philosophy, the universe wasn't just a collection of numbers. It was a symphony, a harmonious interplay of the limited and the unlimited. The limited gives structure, form, and definition, while the unlimited provides potential, change, and dynamism. Together, they create a balanced, harmonious cosmos. In the Pythagorean philosophy, order and harmony emerged from the interplay of the limited and the unlimited. It's a philosophy that goes beyond numbers, delving into the fundamental principles that govern the cosmos. So how did Pythagoras and his followers imagine the creation of the world? This question leads us to the intriguing Pythagorean view of creation. Picture this. At the beginning, there was a single point. This single point then split into two, creating a line. The process didn't stop there. This line then split into three, forming a plane. And finally, the plane split into four, giving birth to a solid figure, a geometric body that exists in 3 dimensions, thus creating space as we know it. Now let's delve a little deeper. These geometric solids were not simply abstract concepts for Pythagoras and his followers. They were the building blocks of the universe, each corresponding to one of the elements. The cube, with its 6 equal faces and 12 edges, was associated with the Earth. The pyramid, with its pointed tip and 4 triangular faces, represented fire. The icosahedron, a solid with 20 faces, was linked to water, and the dodecahedron, a solid with 12 faces, was connected to the air. Moreover, there was a 5th element known as pneuma in Greek, or breath in English. This was represented by another geometric solid, the octahedron, with its 8 faces. When this element entered a body, it was believed to breathe life into it. In this way, the Pythagoreans conceived the universe as a harmonious fusion of numbers and geometry. Each element, each geometric solid, was a crucial part of this grand cosmic puzzle. They saw the world as a mathematical symphony, a perfect harmony of numbers and shapes. For Pythagoras and his followers, the world was not a chaotic, random place. It was a beautifully ordered system, a manifestation of divine mathematical principles. They believed that, by studying numbers and geometry, they were in fact uncovering the hidden patterns of the universe, the secret language of creation itself. For Pythagoras and his followers, the world was a harmonious fusion of mathematics, geometry, and philosophy.